You are listening to a MetalExpressRadio.com interview. Enjoy.
This is Mick Burgess, and I'm joined backstage at the Metro Arena in Newcastle by Bjorn Gelotte from In Flames. Bjorn, it's great to see you here. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. I'm a happy guy. I just bought a vintage Marshall amp, so I'm super happy. I found it here in Newcastle, so yeah.
Excellent. So you've had a productive day already?
Very much so.
Excellent. So you're at the start of a 9-date UK and Irish tour as well, and you played a couple of shows already. How have they been going?
We actually only did one so far. We played Glasgow, and it was chaotic as most first days on a tour is, but it was really fun. We've had some lineup changes throughout, well, like the last year really. So we have a new drummer, Joe, and we also lost Peter, so now we have another guy called Håkan, and that was his first show. So it was super exciting, and it's really fun. Not a very long set, but it's a good first show.
Yeah. I mean, did you get much time over the Christmas break? Because obviously it's the start of January now, the new year. Did you get much time off over Christmas, or did you have to get under rehearsals and get up and running quite quickly?
Yeah, well, we finished off the US run on, I think, the 20th of December. So we were home the 21st, and then Christmas happened with all the family and stuff, and that was intense. And then New Year's, having a huge party at home, because I haven't been home for a couple of years during those times. And then 3 days after New Year's, we were rehearsing.
Back to work.
Yeah.
No rest.
Well, it's been, seriously, I cannot call this work. This is the one thing I know how to do, and the one thing I really want to do. So, but it was, we had a new bass player and everything, so we figured maybe he wants to try out a few songs before we go on stage.
Yeah. Good idea. Because it's a great package featuring yourselves, Avenged Sevenfold, and Disturbed. I mean, when did you first hear of that package being put together?
Fairly late. But it's something that as soon as we heard about it, it's like, we need to do this. These are bands that we really respect, that we have followed for a long time. We have had the fortune to play with before, and for us it's a great opportunity to present our music for an audience that probably or maybe wouldn't have gone to an In Flames show. So for us it's a great opportunity. So
you're on stage first each night, so how long will you get?
Well, as I mentioned before, like the first show was a bit chaotic, so we did 30-something minutes, but the plan is for us to do 40-45 minutes. Hopefully that's enough time to sort of show what we have. We have 12 records, so it's really hard to put a set list together, but I tried to do a little bit of everything.
That was actually going to be the next song. Well, 12 albums in, it's nearly two decades or so in the business, so you got a lot of stuff
it's not getting easier.
It gets harder with each record. So what is your criteria for putting a set list together?
I think unfortunately a lot of the older songs, like really old songs, are they really don't fit anymore in the set list, because it's such a difference in how the songs were written, how they were produced, and how we were thinking at the time. We weren't really thinking of the live environment. We were thinking about how many guitars you can put on, on that song, and that's really hard to make it work live. So that's unfortunate. But we have reworked some of the older songs and have added like keys and stuff like that. So some of them work pretty good. But it's really what we want to do is play the fun stuff and present some of the newer stuff that is challenging and for us fresh, and try to mix it up. 45 minutes is not easy, but we've done worse in the past.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Pete leaving a couple of months back, and he's been with you right from the early days. And why did he decide to leave? Is he going on to do something else? Or?
Yeah, he's always been a very busy man, and I think he was just done with this life. He's still writing music, playing music with friends, and in different constellations. We have the bar together, 2112, so he's busy doing that. We have he has a brewery together with the old drummer in Flames, Daniel. So he's a very busy man.
Do you like the drink?
He likes to drink, yes.
Yeah, so bar 2112, so Big Rush fans.
Oh yeah, very much so. And I think it's just fantastic, the title, because it's not overly metal, but if you know what it is, it's like total rock, dude. And it is sort of the vibe we want to have. It fits really well.
That's right. And they've of course just last year released their 40th anniversary of 2112 with Alice in Chains covering Tears. I think they did.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Really cool.
Good as well. Yeah. He did still play on the Battles album though, didn't he? He still plays
Peter?
on the album. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So how long ago did you become aware that he was going to leave?
Actually, we talked a little bit before the last US run now, and that was like November till December sometime. We talked a little bit before, and I think he just made the decision early on that tour.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're not 18 anymore. You know?
No.
There's different priorities for different people, and it's just how it works. You know?
Yeah.
It's super sad. It's our brother, but then again, we have so much together that we do that I will talk and meet him all the time anyway. So.
Yeah. So is there a replacement? Who is it you said you've brought in now?
Håkan Skoger. It's an old friend from sort of the same area where I'm from in Gothenburg. He played with Anders and Niklas in Passenger, which was a side project they did. He was also in Gardenian, which is one of Niklas' early bands. And I think he played some with Niklas in Engel as well. We just know this guy's awesome when it comes to playing bass. He just hasn't toured that much. So, but that was like the funny thing was like musically, it's not a problem whatsoever. But it's like he was wondering stuff like, well, when we get to the venue, do we get food and stuff? What? Are you serious? That's so cute.
Yeah.
No? But it's like, is that really your questions? Because musically, this kicks ass.
Yeah. And because it must be quite a smooth transition as well, because you've all known him from different projects and what have you. I'm sure you'll look after him on the road as well.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, this is supposed to be fun, you know.
Yeah.
No matter now, these are great venues we're playing. We have a backstage, you know. We have showers. There's a great catering. There's a never-ending supply of beer, and you know we all like to hang out and have fun. We'll go up on stage, do what we think we do best, and just enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you said you Battles is your 12th album. You've just been nominated for your 8th Swedish Grammy, so you must be pretty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you must be pretty pleased with the reaction so far.
Yeah, I mean, we've always sort of, let's put it like this, the way that we think about our music and the way we want to create our music has always divided our audience a little bit. And it's just part of it, because we decided so early that this is our music, you know, we need to do it our way, otherwise we might as well be a cover band and there's no way you can cater to everybody. Let's put it like that. It's hard enough to please ourselves. There's 5 of us, and it's 5 different wills and 5 different set of taste buds, you know, and that's hard enough. Let alone trying to please a record label or a management or even an audience. It's really hard.
Yeah.
You never know what people are gonna like or not. Just make sure you like it yourself. So having that in mind when we write makes it very easy, because when we're done, we're super happy, super proud of the record, and something we're really, really excited to present to people. And if they like it, great.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't, well, if you like the earlier ones, just listen to those. You know, they're still around.
Absolutely. I mean, I was going to come on to that with, you know, some of the older fans have sort of raised their eyebrows that you've moved away from those roots. But
I've been in this band since I was 19. I'm 41. You know, musically and as a person, you grow. It's just a matter of fact.
You either stand still. I mean, AC/DC can get away with it.
There's a handful of bands that can do that. Maiden can do it. AC/DC, as you mentioned, and even Motorhead did it. I mean, there's just a few bands that can do that and get away with it.
But we're not one of them. Nobody expects Metallica to do Kill 'Em All year after year.
I think a lot of people expect them to, but they're not doing it because they don't want it. They want to be challenged. They want to have fun. You know, and it's their thing. So I have the highest respect for that.
Absolutely. I mean, on the Sirens Charm album, for instance, I mean, the song Through Oblivion, I just, you know, that is fantastic. And the way the vocal style has changed so much since those early days. To me, he's got the tone, Anders has got the tone on that song of, say, Pete Murphy from Bauhaus, a sort of lovely goth, smooth.
It is. I think the whole point was when we did that record was that a lot of those songs didn't. I think that a lot of the vocals was done there and then. We did all the music first, and then he had that and bounced ideas off of the music. This time around, we actually had to work on the lyrics and vocals at the same time as we wrote the music, and it created a different vibe and atmosphere, I think. But on Siren Drums, that was absolutely necessary to do it that way, because it's what he wanted to do. He was beat after that recording. It was hard work, and it was absolutely necessary to do it that way.
Right, well, I think some of you older fans might drift away, but I prefer the newer stuff. To be fair, to be honest,
it's all a matter of taste.
Yeah, that's right. You know?
Yeah, I'm the first one to say the same thing. Certain bands, there's a certain time in your life you hear that record, and it just hits you like it's the record, and that will follow you through life probably, right? And whatever they do after that, it's maybe not as strong of an impact. And I'm the same way. I think most people are.
Yeah.
But I mean, doing this full time, and I don't have any side projects or stuff like that. I really live, breathe, and just think in flames all the time. I have to be challenged. I have to have fun. I have to, and I think in doing that, I still love it. I still have fun. I still sit here, talk to you, drink a beer, and talk shit, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Hanging out with my best friends, playing fucking rock and roll.
Absolutely, and I think some of the, I call them newer bands, but they're not really newer bands. Some of the newer bands that I like, sort of the Catatonias and Opeths,
new bands, yes. These are all awesome bands.
They are, Anathema. They've all grown into a more sort of melodic path, and to me that gives them a longevity and a totally different market than they had at the early days. Now, I enjoy that.
I'm not sure it's like a deliberate thing. I think it's just a matter of you've done the extreme, and when you're younger, you are. I think younger is the wrong, but when you start out a band, it's normally you get influenced more obviously by other things going on around you, and then you evolve your sound, and that takes a couple of records. And these bands, I mean, Opeth have done some of the darkest, heaviest stuff, all the way up into really 70s fucking hippie stuff that I grew up listening to stuff like that, right? And so that journey is awesome to follow.
I mean, to me, he sounds like Justin Hayward from Moody Blues when he sings with his clean voice, and it's hard to believe that same growl comes out of the same person.
Super deep guttural growling. It's the same guy.
It's unbelievable. So when did you start working on Battles?
Let's see. Probably around a year before we started recording, but not very intense and not very focused. We're a really lazy band. We pretty much need to have a studio date booked before we really start working. But this time around, we got really lucky. We got to talk to a lot of really, really cool producers, 8 or 10 of them that we really, really respect and made records that are really important for us. And we ended up working with Howard Benson, a fantastic guy with a fantastic team with him. And he just said the right things. He understood what we wanted to do, and just wanted to make sure that we focus and do what we're best at. I didn't want to change anything. Doing the 12th record, it's not time to do a blast beat record or a black metal record. We just want to continue evolving. And he understood that, and he wanted to help us do that, and he did it in a fantastic way.
So, you said 12 albums you've recorded. Did you not think about maybe producing yourself?
We sort of have done that throughout the years. We've had producers, but mainly used them as like mixing guys or engineers or I don't think we've been really fair to the guys that have been producing us, because we're very protective of what we do, and it was a big step for us to open up and allow him and his guys into what we do, like the inner sanctum of what we do. And it was a big difference.
Is that why you went to record in LA?
That's where he has his studio. So it was easy. I mean, we did Siren Charms in Berlin. It was cold, gray, and wet. And no, but it was awesome because once you got underneath that first initial vibe, it had a pulse that is really unique. Very cultural city, and historically very heavy, obviously, and that affected the record. And knowing that, and knowing that Howard Studio is in LA, well, sun, barbecue, beer.
What's not to like?
It was the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was a very conscious decision to go there.
So what did Howard? Because I mean, he's worked with the Hailstorms and so many different.
What is it? 5 Motorhead records as well.
Yeah,
he's done everything.
Motorhead Bastards, didn't he? Yeah.
So the cool thing with him, and that's another reason why we felt super comfortable in opening up and letting him in, is that he's done everything.
It's a diversity.
Very diverse, and he's done anything from like death metal all the way to pop. So for us, there shouldn't be any limits.
Yeah.
And it was perfect with that.
And you wrote with him as well?
Well, he was more like a filter.
Yeah.
And we could like throw ideas at him and say, this is what we want to do. We did demos of all the songs, including vocals for the first time, because he wanted to know exactly what's going on and what we wanted to say and how we wanted to sound and everything. So yeah, it was a very important filter for us.
And this is the first album with Joe, your new drummer, as well. So because he was just brought in initially on a session basis, but he's now full time.
Not even. Basically, we didn't want to have the whole business of auditioning, getting to know and practicing with new drummers, have that in the way of the recording and the writing process. So we figured, we're going to record in LA. Everybody is a studio musician in LA, right? Everybody knows how to play music. So we found somebody to do the session drums. And Howard, because I normally do the programming myself of the drums, for instance, just to have something to put the riffs on and show the other guys, like, this is the idea. And normally I give it to Daniel, so he puts his drummer's perspective on it. And this time around, Daniel wasn't in there, so Howard had his guy, and happened to be Joe, come in and help me out with the programming.
Because he worked with Joe and, was it Red?
Oh yeah.
Red,
yeah.
So
yeah, Joe's from Red. Yeah. Oh, he's been working for years with Howard, like helping out when there's a project or somebody needs programming or drums. And in the end, he knew about us. I did the programming and said, well, this is how I would play. Maybe I should, do the actual drumming as well. And he did, and he kicked ass.
Yeah, because you actually started off in Flames as a drummer, didn't you?
Yeah.
So,
Right,
so you know what you're talking about.
Well, I think it helps when it comes to songwriting to understand what's possible and not. And also, I think you learn a little bit about dynamics when you know how to play more than just the guitar. But at the same time, I never considered myself a drummer. I just happened to play the drums.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I actually sucked a little bit less than Jesper, who was playing on the first record. So it was just a matter of who sucked the least.
Yeah. So did you end up sort of on the drums by default, or
back then?
Yeah.
It was sort of the position that was open. But I got to write, play some guitar on the records, and so I was kind of happy with that. But nobody was happier than me when some of the other guys actually left the band and the position of guitar player opened up.
Yeah, was it? Did you take Nicholas's place at first, and then he came back, didn't he?
Yeah, well, it's kind of complicated because so Glenn and Johan both quit. That's the guitar player and the bass player. 97, right after we recorded Horacle, and we had a summer festival tour coming up, and we needed somebody. So Peter came in, and Niklas came in to fill those spots. But it didn't really work out. Niklas had Engel and all sorts of other projects at the time, and I really wanted to play, guitar. So when he didn't want to continue at the time, we found a real drummer, Daniel, and I could just somebody who actually enjoyed it and were really good at it, and I could start playing guitar. So I was very happy. And then when Jesper wasn't really fit to tour and everything, Niklas came in with extremely short notice, knowing the band from before, and I've known the guy. I saw some of my first rock concerts with him on stage, so I've known and respected this guy for so many years. So he came in short notice and just helped us out. And then eventually Jesper quit, and then it was only natural to have Nick in the band.
Well, Bjorn, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Best luck with the show tonight, and best luck with the rest of the tour.
Thank you very much. Thanks.